Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Unfortunately this was a fishing session that was aborted abruptly due to a work call. I got one cast in and that was it. But I have produced a little video with a couple of clips that you may find interesting and a little bit useful. So I hope you can enjoy these and hopefully next week we'll be back to fishing. I've just been studying the wall. Literally the wall as I come down behind me there, it's that wall. I've set my stuff up just round the back. And the wall is so interesting. There is so much life just going on the end of the walls. There's mussels, there's barnacles growing on mussels, there's whelks, there's limpets. I mean, even when you look at the wall itself and you think it's the wall, there's these microscopic barnacles going everywhere. It's amazing how much life's around. Right, whilst I'm here watching these rods bouncing around, not knowing what a bite is and what is wind and what's wave, I'm going to run through the setup of my reels with the line that I use and why I use it, and I'll try and explain a little bit about it. So most of my reels, not 95% of my reels, I use braid. So braid has a lot of advantages over mono. It also has disadvantages. Braid is a lot thinner than mono in the equivalent breaking strain. So if you've got 30 pound braid to 30 pound mono, you've got half the diameter, if not more. So that reduction in diameter cuts down on wind drag, on wave and sea drag, allows the line to cut through the water a lot better, and also gets you more line on your spool. Also, braid doesn't have the elasticity of mono. Mono can stretch, braid doesn't stretch. So especially for lure fishing, you can feel the lure working, you're direct to that lure, and with this, when you're beach work or fishing from the beach like this, you get a lot more positive bites than you would with mono. So on my general purpose rod, which is this Sonic, I have got 18 pound braid. Now what I like to try and do is work out how much braid I'm going to get on the spool, because I always want to feel the spool to the lip. So I work that out. Most spools have that on there. I can see just on this Cinetic here it says 300 meters of 0.25 diameter. So if I've got a braid that's 0.30, I know I'm going to get about 260 meters on it, and you can work it out roughly, and there's calculators online to do that. So on this 18 pound braid, and then I do a shock leader, and I do a mono shock leader. Don't do a braid shock leader, because the one disadvantage of braid is that it's got no abrasion resistance. So even if you're putting a 50-60 pound braid shock leader on it, you can catch that on a rock with barnacles on it, it's gone. You're slicing it off. Also, I don't like using tapered leaders, because you've got to try and match the taper up to the breaking strain of your line. There's no point having 20 pound main line on your reel and then having a 15 pound to 60 pound shock leader. You've got a really weak link there at your shock leader, and that's where it's going to snap off if you snag. Now I go straight from braid, and I actually use just this reel line mono, which is Skyline, Cinetic Skyline. The one I generally use is the 32.5 kilo. That is 0.50 mil thick, so it's, for its breaking strain, it's very thin. Now that does mean it's got less abrasion resistance, but again, less drag on it, so it's going to cast further for less effort. So I tend to put 7 wraps of this on my reel, then the length of the rod, and half again as a drop down. I tie this to my line with a Slim Beauty knot. It's just an easy knot to use. I did used to do the FG knot, but it's so time consuming. It takes 5 minutes to tie. I haven't got a knot tie, I would tie it by hand. It's just a waste of time. Slim Beauty, I can get tied in about 30 seconds. Very neat, very easy, and it's done. So on here, 18 pound through to the 32 kilo shock leader.
On this reel, which is the one that I tend to use for bigger baits, I've got 25-pound braid. Again, it's through to that same shock leader because I'm only casting 5 ounces, 6 ounces. If I then think I'm going to go really big baits and a bit more, I'll up it to the next Cinetic, which is 43 kilos. So I always want to match the shock leader to the amount of weight I'm casting. I never run the main line straight through. I just think it's asking for trouble, and I never use braid leader. Also, with a braid leader, you've got no absorption. Blimey, try and spit it out. You've got no absorption of any jerks, any sudden jerks on that rod when you're casting. If you've got a braid leader and you jerk it with a lot of force, you can snap the tip of a rod. With a mono, you've got the absorption of any movement like that because of the stretch in the mono. So, me personally, I like braid through the reel, mono leader, and that's it. Doesn't help me catch fish, but it makes me feel good.